I'm listening to an interview, obviously, about God, right? I mean, what else? I mean, there are other things that I like to listen to, but I mean, what's more important than God? But I'm listening to this interview, and one guy is making an argument from the standpoint that he understands the person who hates God, but he's making an argument for God because he used to be that man who hated God, and he was saying that. He's telling the man who currently hates God, he's telling him, I understand that you not only do you not believe that there's a God who could possibly be wicked because the world is wicked. Not only do you believe that, but you don't even believe that there's such a being as a God. And I understand that stance does come from anger. I understand it comes from anger. And he says, even the motivation to be angry with God or not, but the anger towards life itself, where you come to the conclusion, understand that the anger itself, even if you're not angry towards God, but the anger itself towards life, that causes you to come to the conclusion that there is no such being, that motivation reaps no benefit. That motivation is has no good in it. That motivation is pointless. And when he said that, I stopped the video and I said to myself, I agree with that. It's well, obviously I would agree with that, right? But I'm seeing it from a point of someone who doesn't believe in God. I would agree that motivation to conclude that there is no God, there is no such being, that motivation is pointless. It's counterproductive. And you would say in what way exactly? So that's why I stopped the video. I tried to understand why I agree with that statement, and not why I agree with it because I believe in God. No, I mean, come on, that's too biased. I'm able to take myself out the picture, and I'm saying, why do I agree with that? I want to know why he said that, and I want to know why I agree with that. And not why I agree with it because I believe in God, but why I agree with it, period. And I came to well, for me, why I agree with it is if I carry that motivation for the rest of my life, and let's say, even though you disagree with me here, let's say at the end of my life, right, I say, man, maybe there was a God after all. Now, mind you, a lot of the world's most proclaimed atheists have become atheists towards the end of their life, if you guys don't know that. And I always said, man, what a waste of life that you come to find out that there might be a God when you're old. Well, you've lost out on a big part of your life. You know what I'm saying? The biggest part of your life. But let's go back to my thoughts. I was saying, let's say at the end of my life, I come to the realization that perhaps there is such a being as a God. Now, that is counterproductive. Why would I want to conclude that at the end of my life? What is the point of that? What a waste of life. What if I had come to that realization earlier and I said, okay, there's a God. Maybe there's a God. Let me look for him. Let me see if I can find him. Let me see if I can find out the answers as to why there is so much suffering. Because life without a God is really pointless. Life with a God has a purpose, but life is so miserable. Why would God allow it? Okay, well, let me look for this being, if there is such a being. Let me look for him. What's the worst that can happen? I mean, if I find him, would not my life turn out for the better? And you would say, well, there are lots of theists. You have Muslims, particularly Muslims and Christians, right? Let's say you're a Christian. You would say, but I know a lot of Christians whose lives are miserable. That's going to be the outcome for me if I'm to search for this God. People who have already found him are miserable, aren't they? I mean, 7 out of 10 people you meet are most likely going to be Christian. If they're not Muslim or whatever religion in the world, most likely they're going to be Christian. But is their life any better off than yours? Right? That's what you say. So why would I waste my time looking for such a being if those who have found him are miserable just as much as I am? But you see, people forget the not elephant in the room. No, he's more than that. People forget the conniving, sadistic, evil being in the room. And that is not God. That is the enemy of God. The Bible clearly says that the devil is a servant at deception. He's a servant at deceiving the world. Most of those Christians do not serve the God of the Bible. Let me repeat that again. Most Christians do not serve the God of the Bible. They think they're serving the God of the Bible. They are not. Again, people forget the servant deceiver, the master deceiver in the room. The Bible tells you that he is a master servant at deception. And he has blinded the world so that the truth about God will not shine through. Within Christianity, there are several gods whom Christians worship, even though it is a monotheistic religion. Within Christianity, there are different gods that Christians serve, even though they believe they are serving the one true God. And there is a reason for that, because of the master deceiver in the room. Most Christians do not serve the one true God. Why? Because if the majority believes it in the devil's world, then that belief is wrong. Otherwise, the very book you are reading is telling you a lie, because the very book you are reading is telling you that the devil has blinded the world. The devil has blinded the mind of the majority of the world. So if the majority of the world, or let me say the majority of Christians believe in it, then that is not the truth. That is why the majority of Christians are just as miserable as those who do not believe in God. Because in order for you to benefit from God, you have to serve him. Not someone whom you think is him, because he's a very jealous God. And he will not share his glory with anyone else. And he's not going to bless you for worshiping someone whom you think is him, but is not him, because he's too jealous to bless you for that. No, you have to find him. And he is not at fault for why you haven't found him. You are at fault. Why? Because you just follow the religion of your parents. And you're so naive to think that because you were born into it, that has to be the truth. Just as a crack baby is born addicted to crack. I don't know if that's true, but I mean, I think it's true, right? So, I mean, if it's not true, then don't quote me on that. But I believe it's true. I mean, like they're born addicted to crack because they're a crack baby, because they're parents, right? Just as addictive, or let's say for lack of a better example, if this isn't an accurate example, let's say that a crack baby is addicted to crack because of their parents, right? Well, it's the same thing with religion. A child is born into a certain religion, they're going to believe in that religion because it's literally in their blood. It's in their DNA. It's in their house. It's what they hear. It's what they listen to. It's what they listen to. It's what they see. It's what they speak. A child is going to speak the language that it is raised up around. Religion is like that language. It's going to be engraved in that child. It's going to be part of that child's psyche. He and she is going to believe in it like it is the truth. And it is not the truth. But they're going to believe, they will die for that truth. If you're born into Islam, you're going to be in Islam. Doesn't mean Islam is true. But you say that to a Muslim, they will kill you because they believe without a shadow of a doubt that it is the truth. Go to a Christian country, born into Christianity, you will believe, Christianity, and you will believe that Christ is God. That is in your DNA, and nothing will deter you from it. But there is a reason why God says that even though he does not punish a child for the error of their parents, because each person would carry their own load and each person would answer for their own actions, even though he says that in the Bible, in the same book, he also says he is the God who brings punishment upon fathers. He's the God who brings punishment of fathers upon their sons, even up into the 10th generation. Why does he say that? Is he contradicting himself? No. He is saying that, listen, I know that if your parents were pagans, you will nine times out of 10, or should I say 9.7 times out of 10, you will also be a pagan. Because this is a fact. Okay, this is a fact. And God knows this. God only speaks facts. That's why God says that. He says he's going to have to punish the child for what the father does, because he knows the child is going to do the same thing that the father does. The Israelites were caught up in paganism for many generations because they were following the errors and sins of the fathers. And it took one genius out of that line to say, listen, idols don't speak back. Why am I worshiping idols? No, the true God is not a God that I can make. The true God made me. The true God is not one that I can make. He made me. But again, as common sense as that is, you still have people who worship idols. Okay. And even today in Christianity, you have people who pray to idols. They pray to the Virgin Mary, a statue. They pray to a cross. They pray to Christ on a cross. They pray to different saints. They pray to different images. Okay. It's common sense tells you this is stupid, but because it's ingrained in them, because they saw their parents doing it, that language is what they speak. So this atheist is going to say that, well, Christians who serve God are no better off than I am. But these Christians do not serve God. That's the problem. Because God says his promises are true. He says, if you search for me, you will find me. But most religions, most children don't search for God. They just do what their parents did. That's not searching for God. You don't search for God by doing what your parents did. That's not seeking God. And that is loving your parents more than you love God. That's the truth of the matter. So if an atheist was to search for God, he would actually most likely find God, because an atheist would not look for God from their parents. They would look for God with an open mind, not with a closed one. But someone who is born into a religion most likely would not search for God. That's the irony of it. Because you already believe that your parents have found it. So all you're going to do is just follow after your parents. So if you're born into an Islamic religion, you're going to be an Islam, a Muslim. If you're born into Christianity, you're going to be Christian. You're going to believe that Christ is God. Now, if the majority of Christians believe in the Trinity in the devil's world, that's the reason why they have not found God. God is not a triune God. But me saying this would upset so many Christians, because they believe within their bones that their language that they speak, that they spoke when they were brought up in their community, that language is the true language. And religion is a language. It is a metaphorical language. And the true language is only one language. And within Christianity, there are many languages, or should I say there are many dialects, but there is only one true dialect. So, I mean, I guess that's the conclusion of my rant. You can't say that Christians have found God, because 9.7 out of 10 Christians have not found God. That I know for a fact. They have not found God. Because if that's the case, then the devil is not doing his job correctly. And the devil is good at what he does. Understand that. He's excellent at what he does. So if the majority of Christians in the devil's world believe something, understand that it is wrong. If they believe in hellfire, that God is tormenting or is going to torment people for all eternity in fire, it is a lie. If they believe in the Trinity, it is a lie. If the majority of the world celebrate Christmas, it is a lie. If they believe Christ died on a cross, it is a lie. If they believe in Easter, if they celebrate New Year's, it is a lie. If they believe he is blonde, white, blonde hair, blue eyes, understand that it is a lie. If the majority believes it in the devil's world, it is a lie. But again, of course, I mean, you wouldn't believe me. Why would you believe me? Why wouldn't you believe the devil, who is a master deceiver? Why wouldn't you believe him? He's great at what he does. Why wouldn't you believe him? But you see, the fault lies on you because the Bible already told you that the devil has blinded the majority of the world. So you just put one and one together to make two. If the majority believes it, it is a lie. And that is why the majority of Christians do not reap the benefits of serving God, because they are not serving him all along. They have not been serving him. Because God will not bless you for serving someone else apart from him, because he's too jealous for that. He's too glorious. He's too holy. Why would you want to serve someone apart from God? And why should he bless you? No, that's absurd. Search for him. Do not love your parents and your community and what you were raised up in more than actually finding the one true God. The one true God. Not the triune, not the triune God. The one true God. And you would say, but how can the Trinity and hellfire be wrong if the Bible teaches that as the truth? Then that means the whole book is wrong. I mean, what is my channel about? Am I not using the same book that you claim teaches that God is a triune God? Am I not using that same book to prove to you that he is not a triune God? Am I not using that same book to prove to you that hellfire is not what that book teaches? I will put a video proving to you that the Bible does not teach hellfire under this video. Whether you want to listen to it or not, that will put guilt on your own conscience as to why you are in the slump that you are in, because you choose to have a closed mind. I will also put a video, even though I have many videos against hellfire and many videos against Trinity, I will put one of each topic. I will put one about that I've made against hellfire. I will put one that I made that Christ is not God and that God himself is not part of a Trinity. And I will put maybe another video against the popular belief that every good person goes to heaven and that earth is going to be destroyed and no good person is going to be on earth at the Armageddon. Another lie, another blasphemy. I'm gonna put those three topics under this, and you will see that, wow, this same book does teach that hell is not what it is, and that Christ is not God, and that good people will actually be here after Armageddon, and only a chosen elect few will go to heaven for the job of ruling as kings and priests with Christ in heaven. Now, I'm gonna do that so that you will see that the same book can be used to teach lies and blasphemies against its own author, because the devil is good at what he does. The devil quoted from the same scriptures to try to deceive Christ. Okay, the devil quoted from the same scriptures, from the same book to try to deceive Christ. You don't think he can use the same book to teach you lies about his father? Yeah, about the devil's father, because the devil was created, so he has a father. You don't think the devil can use the same book? You don't think the devil could use his father's book to teach you lies about his father? So I'm going to do that for you. And it's up to you to watch those videos with an open mind, not with a closed mind from the system that you were raised up in, right? And that's just up to you. You can't say that nobody provided you different points to look from, because here it is. I'm going to do it for you.